My name is Pippa, and this is my planet-friendly proposition. The way that humans choose to eat and live right now is not at all renewable or sustainable for themselves or for the environment. Farmland and water is scarce, environmental problems are arising, and global temperatures are fluctuating even more every year. One of the biggest reasons for this is our food industry. According to Grace Communication Foundation, it takes 1,800 liters of water to produce 1 pound of beef. Animals are also being abused in factory farms and being killed by unethical means. Needless to say, as a teenager who is going to have to live in a world that is predicted to end in 2050, I hope I can find a way to reduce my environmental footprint. The new trend that I've researched is going vegan or vegetarian, as some would say plant-based or even raw vegan. I hope to find a way that I can still maintain my very active lifestyle while also reducing my environmental footprint. As my question says, how might eating a plant-based diet, or vegan or vegetarian, benefit an adolescent athlete? This means that my project will hope to find a dietary lifestyle for myself and teens alike who have a very active lifestyle to find ways to eat well, get their proper nutrients, and things they need while also eating sustainably. To begin, I would like to focus on the present, focusing on the standard American diet, or commonly what a Canadian would eat, as well as data about the environmental impact of this, obesity, and where this might go in the future. The first two graphs I'm going to show the health of Americans in relationship to their diet. Here, in my first graph, I would like to show this graph which says death attributable to individual risk in both sexes. So, why are Americans dying? The most popular and most common reason is because of smoking, as seen here in the biggest box. However, every single other most common reason is related to someone's diet. As you can see here, the next most popular is high blood pressure, overweight or obesity, high blood glucose, high LDL cholesterol, and high dietary sodium. The next graph I would like to show is named Obesity Prevalence Among Adults and Youth in the US. Now, this graph is a line graph from 2000 to 2016. In 2000, only 13.9% of all youths were obese. However, in 2016, it had already risen to 18.5%, and since then, it has risen even more. Now, in 2000, 30.9% of all adults in the United States were obese. However, in 2016, it had also increased to 39.6%. If America doesn't start changing its standard American diet, these rates will increase even more. So, moving on to the environmental impacts of the standard American diet. Here we have 3 facts contrasting producing meat and producing vegetables. So first, it said it takes 50% of all water used in the United States is used for raising animals. Next, the next fact says it takes more than 2,400 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of meat. This is where it gives an alternate option. That is to going vegan or vegetarian. In contrast, it takes only 25 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of wheat. In the next graph, this shows another example of the contrast between producing meat and producing only vegetables and plants. So, here we have a graph showing gallons of water used per day by an omnivore, and this says 4,000 gallons. In contrast, this graph shows the gallons per day used by a vegan, and it's only 300 gallons. Imagine the amount of water the United States could save if everyone went vegan. Similarly, in this graph, this shows the environmental impact of producing 1 pound of meat versus 1 pound of soy. Here it says that to produce 1 pound of animal protein, it takes 12 times as much land, 13 times as much fossil fuel, and 15 times as much water. Now, in this section, I'm going to focus on how someone would actually be able to become vegan, how to transition, where to go to, and how they would get all their necessary nutrients and proteins. So the most recommended tip before going vegan or trying to be vegetarian is to go visit your local doctor, because they know you best and they know your body best. For me, I went to go visit Somerset West Community Health, which is my local doctor. Now moving to the section of where vegans and vegetarians can get their protein. Now, below me, we have a food pyramid here, and this is a vegan food pyramid, so it's very similar to one of an omnivore. However, instead of getting protein and such from meat and animals, it's getting it from all plant-based food. For example, instead of having chicken in its protein section, it has quinoa. Iron is another issue that many non-vegan and vegetarians wonder about, how they might be able to lose iron if they were to go vegan or vegetarian. Here above me, I have a great graph showing 10 great sources of plant-based iron. Here are some examples such as lima beans, tempeh, tofu, or quinoa. As you can see, it is very easy to still get these very essential nutrients, just in different ways other than just meat and dairy. In this chart, this shows how much protein is in these vegan and vegetarian friendly foods versus these omnivore friendly foods. Now, as you can see here, we have, for example, a piece of kale. A piece of kale has 40% protein. However, as you move down and compare that to a piece of beef only has 25.8% protein. Here it is possible to see that again, it is very easy as a vegan or a vegetarian to get this protein as long as you plan and work ahead. Finally, this graph addresses the last issue about someone who might not want to go vegan or vegetarian, and how a teen like I would be able to afford this kind of lifestyle. As you can see here, there are many different types of food lined up. In the red, these are all foods that come from animals. In the green, however, these are all vegan and vegetarian foods. Here we have the prices. It is possible to see that vegan is not more expensive, or going vegetarian is much cheaper actually than living a standard American diet, as beef is almost $8, while soybeans or wheat are not even $1. In conclusion, it is clear that as a teen, the standard American diet is not a sustainable, healthy, or good diet for someone who aims to lead a healthy, active lifestyle, or for our future planet. It is also clear that it is very possible for a teen like myself to transition to a vegan or vegetarian diet, as it is less expensive, healthier for ourselves, and in many cases, still very easy to get the required amounts of nutrients and proteins from our diet. Therefore, it would benefit an adolescent athlete like myself to go vegan or vegetarian, because I would still be able to get my required nutrients like protein, iron, and while also getting the positives of this diet because of the sustainability it provides, while also reducing the risk or complete elimination of some side effects of the standard American diet, like obesity, death, and an unhealthy lifestyle. Thank you for listening. Now go eat the healthiest you can.